Hey guys, Solo TCG here. It's been a minute. I know it's been a minute since my last upload, but it got me thinking a few days ago that I do want to revive the channel. I haven't forgotten my goal, which is to spread Final Fantasy TCG within the Philippines. So I want to spread FFTCG because I also know, I think compared to the other TCGs out there, FFTCG is pretty niche. So the community is pretty tight, I would say. But regardless, I'm here again. I want to make videos again. So with that, I do want to talk about the meta of FFTCG right now, because I don't remember the last time I saw Materia Hunter. Well, I've been looking at Materia Hunter for the past 2-3 weeks, but the last time I checked, the ones that are dominating in the tournament deck lists in Materia Hunter are Knights, Monofire, what else? FF8, I think the Squall deck's there. I think those, but looking at the past 3 weeks, I haven't seen any of those. Monofire, Mono Water, even Knights, I don't see in the top like 8, I think. Majority of them have shifted. I think one mono that stayed there is Mono Earth, and Warriors. I think one of the two decks that have been consistent. I think. Getting back into FFTCG, playing again, trying to be competitive again since the competitive season is out. I've been looking at deck lists and I did make my own. It was inspired by someone who created the Wol7, since Wol7 is my favorite deck. Wol7, he created a Wol7 deck, except it was very much aligned to the Wol7 that I play. I don't like playing the Wol7 with the Tyvus and the all that, the non-crystal Wol7, because once you get wiped, what are you gonna do? Nothing. When you have crystals, you still got a chance. But essentially, the deck list that I like, crystals, that guy made it way faster for you to get crystals because of the new cards that came out from the Dreamlike Oceans, which is the Remnant. So Laws, Yazoo, and Kadaj that were there, I added them, and it significantly improved the speed of how much crystals that I was gaining. So much so that I actually went in and went top 1 in the local weekly and shuffle emporium here in the Philippines. And everyone was surprised because they thought, was I playing Knights? It was that fast. I think the fastest game that I had was like by turn 4. He was already 6 damage or 5 damage or 6. And I could not believe the rate that it went up. I know, of course, this is still like a Gamba deck wherein you have to make sure your luck's on your side. But given how you build the deck, I think less luck but more consistency because of the amount that you can put out there. It's a very strong deck. So let's get into it. I'll be discussing the deck list that I used and what improvements I think I can do based on my experience. So let's go. All right. So talking about the deck list that I used, obviously we're running 3 Warrior of Light, 7 costs. So why it's the main, or at least I would say this is the main character, but you have a secondary character, which is Bartz, but talking about that later. When Warrior of Light enters the field due to your cast, reveal the top 5 cards in your deck, play up to 2 characters of cost 3 among them onto the field, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So why you want to play this is because this deck revolves around flipping the top 5 and then being able to play 3 costs that are strong with the ETBs. So that's one. And of course, obviously, it has the ultimate shield, which is why we have 3 4-cost Warrior of Light, even though we're not casting him. So why we have these is because you're just feeding the Warrior of Light for the S ability, which is until the end of the turn, Warrior of Light and the forwards of 3 costs you control gain. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. So that's pretty strong. And I want to say why this is your second main character is because this deck, like I said earlier, this deck became a turbo generator for crystals due to the remnants. So I'm playing 3 Bards, which I heavily emphasize as your second main character because that 3 crystal, I think in the 10 games that I pulled off playing last weekend, I think either my second or third turn, I was able to play Bards and win either my fourth or fifth turn. It was that fast. And before, I want to stress, before it wasn't as fast because you really were just relying on your backups, your Scholar, your Samurai, and your Paladin from Opus 21, which gives you 1 crystal and you get to draw 1 if you have 3 or less backups. But because of the remnants, this became so fast that I focused on making sure I had 3 always in order to, if I was able to draw him later on, I would be able to use him. Or some of the other cards that have crystal usage, which we'll talk about in a bit. Okay, so I was talking about these 3 being the main star or the new addition to the deck: Kadaj, Yazoo, and Laws. So all 3 of them have the same similar effect as enter the battlefield. So when blank enters the field, choose 1 job remnant in your break zone, remove it from the game, and then gain 2 crystal. Honestly, these don't matter as much compared to the others, but I would say Yazoo has more use here since it can dull freeze 1 character your opponent controls. Oh, sorry, choose 1 character and then you can dull freeze it. But compared to the rest, compared to Kadaj, honestly, it's not that useful. So really, I am just using these as a crystal generator for Bards or for the other forwards later on. And why it's so good is because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 in the deck, and you can just RFG any. It doesn't have a restriction. It just says 1 job remnant in your break zone, remove it from the game, and then you gain 2 crystal, which is crazy. So I'm running 2 Kadaj for obvious reasons. It's a 5 cost, and honestly, I have not played Kadaj. I think I only played him once. I never used him. I would automatically throw him to the break zone in order for these guys to come in later on and remove him. But yeah, Yazoo, very, very useful. Laws is also very, very useful in relation to Gilgamesh, which is your main attacker, or at least your pressure point here. So it did not change. You still have Gilgamesh. It has 3 effects. So if you have 3 or more different elements among your cards in the break zone, Gilgamesh gains 1k power, haste, and first strike. If you have 7, you are able to attack 3 times during the turn, and it has Brave. If it has 5, if you have 5 in your break zone, 5 different elements in your break zone, you can choose 1 character, dull and freeze it. So it's very strong, but I want to stress again, given that this deck was mainly new and I had like 10 games of playtest, I did not need to pursue the 7 in order to pressure my opponent at all. It did not need, because of the fact that I was spawning Bards during my second turn. During my second turn, by the way, I remember it being at least half the time I was able to pay 3 crystal in order to play Bards or cast Bards because of these guys. And obviously, one of the backups. I had 3 during my second turn, and I had this on hand. Almost all the time, I was able to swarm my board. So, again, I don't need to stress. You don't need to stress about the 5 or 7. What you want is a turbo attacker during the early game. That's one. Other staple 3 costs, obviously, Axstar for, Ice Fire. It's very strong. Everyone knows this. Zeramus, also one of the, I want to say during my experience in last week, Zeramus had more impact to me than Axstar. Like, way more impact. Because of the fact that it can dull freeze, and like I said, turn 2, I would usually have Bartz, and I would usually flip Zeramus. Honestly, even with Warrior of Light in my second turn, I would like have Zeramus out on the field, and it's able to dull freeze and also pressure, since at the end of each of your opponent's turns, dull all the forward your opponent controls. It made it even worse for my opponent. So Axstar, not as good. I don't really play Axstar. I didn't really play Axstar that much during the game, during last week. And finally, Cyan. So why this is strong is because obviously it has a board wipe of 5, but people tend to overlook that it's also a crystal generator. Actually, back then, before the remnants came out, the crystal generator really is Cyan and the backups, because you would like play Cyan later on when you had like more backups, and then you would pay like 5 in order to get 5. So you had the immediate threat of like 5 crystal, right? Unless of course there's a response for your opponent using ammo or whatnot. But you know, Cyan's still a staple here since this is a crystal deck. You want more crystals. Moving over to other forwards. So why I have Mog here is I used to run 3, but because we needed to make space for the remnants, I ran 1. And why I'm still running 1 is because 1, it's still a strong 3 cost. You get to draw 1 card when it enters, and you have that threat to you have a blocker, that's why you have a body, and you have that threat to anti-search your opponent during his turn. But aside from that, the main reason why I needed 1 more is because I needed the color fix for one of the backups later that I'll be discussing. So it's Sarah FFL, very very important in this deck. And I needed more water cards that I couldn't think of, and Mog was like the perfect fit. Since it's a water, it can be played by Warrior of Light or by Bartz if it's flipped, or if it's in your hand, you can just toss it for Sarah. Shantoto, so this is also a very strong card. If your opponent has 1 card or less in their hand, the cost required to cast Shantoto is reduced by 3. So it's essentially a 1 cost ice, and when it enters, you can choose 1 character other than Shantoto and add to hand. So people tend to overlook also. I also did overlook that it had another ability. If it's in your hand, you can pay 1 ice, 1 CP, and 1 crystal. You can remove Shantoto from your hand, from the game, and you can dull all the forward your opponent controls. And you can play it anytime. So it's a showstopper for your opponent, or it's a game changer. So if you're ready to win and your opponent has like full forwards that you can't get through, you can use Shantoto. Salamander is a good addition here since this is a crystal deck. The thing that's important here is you can kaboom 2 forwards for 9k for only 2 crystal. 2 crystal. Unfortunately, I was not able to play Salamander as much during the games last week, so I'm thinking of trying to swap him out for something else. If you have suggestions, you can put out. The Emperor. So why this card's new good addition here is because I play 2. So if it enters the field, you gain 1 crystal. If your opponent also has a crystal, you gain another. So you gain 2 if your opponent also plays crystal. And you have that threat. It's basically this, break all forwards and monsters opponent controls for 3 crystal only. Who's another 3 crystal? This guy. And mind you, I did have that game. I remember it clearly because it was my first time threatening with the Emperor. I was able to put him out turn 2, with 3 crystals. So I had that immediate threat for my opponent, which I think he was playing Gullwings. Yeah. Shout out Pipoy. Yeah, my loss for that day. That Gullwings still strong. So yeah. But yeah, it has that board wipe. So I'm playing 2. And my last addition to my forwards is Tifa. So it has Brave. It's 7k. When Tifa enters the field, you can choose 1 forward your opponent controls, deal it 4k for each Category 7 forward you control. Hi, Solo. Oh, no, not yet. Solo's there. Solo, hi. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, wait. I'm distracted. Solo, let's play later. So why Tifa's here is because you have that immediate threat again. For only 2 crystals, you can attack twice during that time. Solo, no. Oh no. Wait. Hang on. Okay, that calmed them down a bit. So I gave him some treats. So yeah, going back, Tifa is really strong because you're able to pressure 2 attacks, I think even in the early. I think I was able to pull that off with one of the games. I was able to play Tifa with a 2 crystal since I was able to put out like 1 remnant out with, and that was turn 2. So I had like, essentially I had Warrior of Light, Tifa, and 1 remnant out. And I was able to dish out 2 damage already to my opponent since it was turn 2, and he only had the backup. And then the next turn, I had 3 attackers and potentially a 4th one with Tifa if I was able to generate another 2 crystals. So it's pretty strong. I was thinking of swapping Salamander for Tifa, but we'll see. So that's it for the forwards. I think I made it a point that Warrior of Light is pretty strong, and I generally think the Warrior of Light crystal deck is much better than the non-crystal deck for reasons. I was wiped. I remember it. I was wiped because of the Gullwings deck, but since I still had crystals, I was able to pull off a Bartz because I drew him. I was able to pull out the Bartz and was able to get Cyan and all that. So I was able to try to claw back, but ultimately I lost since that Gullwings deck was, even though I board wiped him after like a turn after, it's still pretty strong, and I didn't have the better luck there. So yeah, that's the forwards for this deck, and I only had 2 summons. So Amaterasu, staple, but honestly, I was not able to play Amaterasu during the 10 games that I was playing yesterday. I was playing last weekend. So I was thinking of swapping this out for something much better, but we'll see. That's another thing to consider. Sorry. Going to the backups. Remembering what I said about Mog, Sarah FFL is such it's your best opener, honestly, in turn 1. If you have Sarah FFL, just pitch it immediately. Pitch something. Pitch Paladin, pitch your Warrior of Light, pitch the Mog. Just play Sarah immediately and get either the Warrior of Light or Bartz. Or Warrior of Light, to be honest. But most of the time, I've been playing Bartz. I've been getting Bartz myself and playing it right after. Like I said, every second turn I was able to dish out a Warrior of Light and a Bartz, mainly because I was able to get those 2 cards from Sarah. And you would ask me, but Solo, why wouldn't you get Warrior of Light for, I was testing it, and part of the test was, is it better to forego the S ability for swarming the board? And I think I got my answer. So one thing I overlooked before is that Sarah has this ability, Dull, and then put Sarah into the break zone, choose 1 forward, activate it. So I had one of the games wherein I had this Dull frozen because of my own Axstar, and I had like a bunch of cards in my hand. After that game, I think I asked, is it because is it a threat? Was it a threat because I could have had Amaterasu in my hand? It was like, yeah, it was. But aside from that, I could be playing it like this, wherein I would Dull and activate Warrior of Light, put this into the break zone, activate Warrior of Light and block with something, it dies, and then if I had Warrior of Light on my hand, I could play it again. So that's one of the tech things that you could use with Sarah. And aside from that, if you had a bunch of backups, I think I had one game with that. I had a bunch of backups aside from, you know, putting out Sarah and activating Warrior of Light. I was able to put out another Sarah on my hand. So I could search again another Bart's or something, right? Which I did. So that's the first. So 3 Sarahs. Gastellian Empire Sid. Why this is important? It's a category 6 and it searches for a category 6 forward. So it searches for Mog, because I had that one game where I had these. And I played him in order to search for Mog so that I could play Sarah next turn. So it's pretty useful. Aside from Mog, obviously you can search for Cyan. So yeah, that's why he's there. And he's an ice, which satisfies, there are like majority of the elements in the deck is ice due to the remnants. Sarah, Arya 3, EX Burst, and can search for Warrior of Light. It's only one because it's the only 4 cost I think in my deck, and it's a water, so it feeds on the for Sarah. The next 3 are the staples for your crystals. Gain crystal, and then you can draw 1 if you have 3 or less. But the important thing here is your crystal, especially in the latter half. So yeah, there you have it. That's my deck list for Wol7 crystals. I hope you enjoyed. I think I'll do another one for one of the decks that I'll be playing. I think it'll be MBM or Mon Earth. So yeah, next time again. Peace!